Laura Walter with LJW Realty, and I'm here with Inspector Daggett. He is our local expert inspector. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is what is the purpose of a transaction. So just to run you through where an inspection comes in on a transaction, if you are the buyer, is that you find your house, you negotiate price, you sign off on a contract. Obviously I'm giving you the very short version, and then you have 5 business days typically to get an inspection done. This is an optional item to do an inspection. Don't pass it up. Do the inspection. Inspection, in my opinion, are musts. I highly advise a buyer, even if your uncle is a carpenter, does not mean you should pass the inspection. Do the inspection. So anyways, we're here with Gary to talk about what he does and just kind of what his role is in the process and why I feel it is so important to have one done.
Yeah. So guys, what I want to do is I just want to explain what my role as the inspector is in the whole deal. And it's important to have a really good team of people when you're buying the house. Your realtor and your attorney are a big part of that, but I believe that a home inspector is as well. So my job is to give you the true condition of the home. So you may go into a house and it looks beautiful, maybe a rehab, and it's nice and shiny. My job is to come in and look for things that may not be visible or recognizable to you. I look at over 150 houses a year, so I have a lot of practice going in. I've gone through training, continuing education to make sure I know what I'm looking at and find those things. But just because I find something doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to kill a deal. What you have to do is you have to look at, okay, now what's the condition of the home, and me helping you understand this is what it's going to take to repair it in the situations where I can, this is the cost involved with it. Then you get to take that information and go back to your realtor and your attorney, and they help you negotiate the best possible price on that property. And you always have an option to walk away if you choose to do that, but it's better to know ahead of time and walk away from a house than be in one for 6 months and find some major thing that could have been found by an inspection.
Absolutely. So just to piggyback on that, what ends up happening is, Gary, then, the inspection's done. It's typically, what I've experienced, one of the most stressful times in the buyer's transaction, because an inspector does, they go in and they tear apart the house, but in a good way. Some items are just maintenance items, some items are, you need to get them done, some things are just good to know items. But it's just a lot of information thrown at you once. So as a buyer, I would say prepare to be a little overwhelmed, but that's why you have a good team around you to really point out, just because you have a laundry list doesn't mean that laundry list means you can't move into the house. If you walk through my house right now, I would have passed a laundry list. That's how people live. It's not, it doesn't always have to be a deal breaker. However, you want to know what you're walking into, is because, as Gary mentioned, if there's a major foundation issue, that might not be something that you want to be walking into. You might want to either have them repair it or choose to find another house at the time.
Yep. In my experience, having done this for over 5 years, is that in that entire time that I've done the inspections, I've had one house that was a condemnable house, that was a walk-away house. And the guy who was buying it knew it. He wanted me to find all the EPA violations so he could get the land for the price of the land. Everything else is repairable, but there's always a cost associated with that repair. And being able to know what those are ahead of time and being able to go to the negotiating table and say, hey, this is what the inspector found and this is what we'd like to do. That's where your realtor and your attorney come in, and that really fills out the team. So it's not just to make sure that you don't have a bunch of stuff that's wrong with the house, but it's also really to negotiate what that house really is worth and what you should pay for it.
Absolutely. So again, just to summarize, get the inspection done. Do not pass that step. It's just too much of a financial risk. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Gary. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have, and make it an awesome day.